In this video, I'll be showing you two ways to quickly host and share public prototypes. This makes it easy to test and share prototypes with clients or collaborate with a coworker. Both of these solutions do not require the use of an FTP program. I'm going to demo the Dropbox solution first because it is the simplest to set up and use. If you do not have a Dropbox account, it is basically a cloud storage service that allows you to have a synchronized folder across multiple devices. It also has file versioning in case you need to revert back to a previous version. In your browser, go to dropbox.com, enter your desired account name, email, and password, and click the blue Sign Up button. Download Dropbox to your computer and log in after installation. When Dropbox first came out, they allowed you to have a public folder where you could place HTML files. This made sharing prototypes really easy, but they recently turned this feature off. I found a nice workaround using a third-party service called KISSr. They have a free plan for one prototype, but if you like the service, you can get multiple sites and even have a custom domain. For this example, I am going to create a simple Bootstrap starter page. In Chrome, go to KISSr.com. That's KISSr.com. On the home page, enter the short name you would like to use for your site and click on the Create Site button. Allow the app access to your Dropbox account. You will now see an apps folder inside your Dropbox folder on your computer. Double-click the folder to see the contents. Double-click the KISSr folder and then your site prototype folder. KISSr automatically creates a starter index.html template. Now let's get some code that we can use as a starting point for our site. In your browser, go to getbootstrap.com and copy the starter template to your clipboard. Open the index.html file in your code text editor and paste the starter template code using the keyboard keys Ctrl-V or Command-V on a Mac. I'm going to change my heading slightly so that I know the page loads my most recent code. Then save the file. Now go back to your KISSr account and click on the prototype link. Great, it works. Let's see how quickly code changes are refreshed. I use a browser extension called Live.js that auto-refreshes the browser if there's a code change, so this will help achieve a live edit preview. Back in your code editor, let's make a change to the heading and click Save. Now add a background color. A few second delay is not bad without any further work on my part. Using Dropbox and KISSr would be a good option if you do not want the hassle with committing and syncing files with GitHub Desktop. It eliminates a few steps and your code changes refresh each time you save your file. If you're not already familiar with GitHub, it is a place to host your Git repositories. A Git repository is a project folder that contains version control so that you can easily keep track of code changes and revert back to the old versions if you need to. GitHub makes sharing code really easy and has a feature called GitHub Pages that can be used for code documentation, or in our case, a clickable prototype. We'll be writing our code locally and then using the GitHub desktop application to sync files to GitHub servers. Okay, let's download the application. In your browser, go to desktop.github.com. Click on the blue download button to download the installer to your computer. Open up the installer. Click Install. We have the application. Now we need the account to link it to. In your browser, go to github.com and begin to enter in your account information. In step 2, you'll have the option to have a free account or a paid account. A free account lets you host unlimited projects for free. Just keep in mind, everything you put here will be public and anyone can copy and reuse your code. If you want to create a private repository, you will need to purchase a paid plan for $7 a month. Keep in mind, if you ever decide to use GitHub Pages to test your code, the repository will be private, but anything inside GitHub Pages will be public. Click Continue and complete the setup process. Okay, everything is set up. Let's open up the desktop application and log in. In your Start menu, search for GitHub and open up the application. Log in with your account credentials. In the right-hand corner, you can access the settings by clicking the gear icon. You can switch accounts or change the appearance to the dark theme. Okay, great job! We now have the ability to create Git repositories locally on our computer and upload them to GitHub. Now let's create a new repository for our site prototype. In your browser, go to github.com. After logging in, click on the plus sign icon in the right-hand corner and select New Repository. Give a repository a name and a short description. And since you are sharing a public URL, you'll need to leave the privacy settings to public. Check to initialize this repository with README and click the green Create Repository button. On the main page of the repository, click on the green Clone or Download button and then select Open in Desktop. In GitHub Desktop, right-click the repository name and select Open in Explorer. Now add a new index.html file. In a new browser tab, go to gitbootstrap.com and copy the starter template code using the Copy to Clipboard button. Back in your code editor, use the keys Ctrl-V or Command-V on a Mac to paste the code. I'm going to change the heading text slightly so it is unique to this project. Then save the file. Back in GitHub Desktop, it will recognize your new file and ask you to commit the change. Provide a commit name and click the Commit to Master button. Now click the Sync button in the top right-hand corner. We now have our code on GitHub, but we need to turn on GitHub Pages. In your browser, go back to github.com and click on the repo, and select the Settings tab. Scroll down the page to the GitHub Pages section and click on the Source dropdown. If this was an open source code library, we'd want a prototype in a different branch, but in our example, it can be just in the master branch. So select that and click Save. After the page refreshes, scroll down the page to find the public URL. Select the URL and copy it to your clipboard. Go back to the repository main page and click the Edit button, and paste the public URL in the website box. This will make it easier to find later. Click Save, and then click the link. Currently, the page is showing the README file and not the Bootstrap starter template we added. It takes a little bit of time for GitHub to make our changes live. After waiting a few seconds, I refreshed the page again, and it is working now. In this video, we explored 2 ways you can host and share a project pretty quickly. Another option is using CodePen, but this service does not have an easy way to work locally and sync to their servers. Below I provided links to the extensions and sites I mentioned in this video. Thank you for watching.